So you play like
C4,
Fischer here,
C5.
C4.
Yeah, well, this is very good on this level. It's very good to try D4, C4. It's considered to be a little bit more quiet for white. I mean, not so dangerous as E4. But it's not clear. Black has to play very carefully, in the opening. We'll see. He overstepped a little bit the limit, Korchnoi, trying to play for win very quickly, and therefore he was punished very quickly. You see, and immediately after the opening, he had a bad position.
Okay.
D5, that is one line when black tries to do something, decisive in the first 10 moves like
Right
this.
away.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Nice, yeah. Knight C7, this is a good line. And after D3, G6, he can choose between two possibilities, G6 and bishop G7, or E5, and later on to put the bishops on E6 and E7 and castle. This is the alternative, which probably is better for black. I mean, is better than our game. I mean, more safe. Now, after bishop e3, knight e6, the game will be very unclear. Very unclear. I mean, what to do with black, because everything will be forced, and white is clearly better in a few moves, we'll say. Castle, bishop, yeah, and now it starts. White tries to attack immediately the weakness from c5.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, okay, he plays knight d4, rook c1, yeah. Queen a5. He has to protect the pawn.
Yeah, but
he can't protect the pawn with b6 because you lose immediately on the diagonal. White takes in d4, and on the big diagonal you are lost. You lose the rook.
If you move here, then I
if he doesn't move, for instance, queen a5, he plays b6. Yeah.
Yes.
After b6, a big mistake. He takes immediately in d4, and on the big diagonal you lose the rook. And that's finished. Queen a5, and now the big surprise, knight takes c5. That transposes the game. It opens completely the game in white's favor. White has already every piece is on the right position and has a big initiative, and black has no castle for the moment. And therefore he's in big trouble here. Immediately after the opening, everything is forced now. Bishop takes in c5, takes with the rook, and queen takes a2. Okay, he took back his pawn.
Yes.
But white has a very strong initiative, and the position is much too open. You see the difference between the two bishops from e3 and f3, and the bishop from g7 and c8. Completely complete defensive position for black, and he has to wait to see what happens in the next moves. In every position, black has a very difficult game, if not lost already.
Also, the king didn't castle.
The king is also in a strange position, let's say. So now b4 is very strong move, of course. I mean, has
not to lose the pawn, right?
Not to lose the pawn, and preparing the next moves. You see. So castle, and now again rook c7, very clear. White attacks twice, the structure e7 and b7. Now you have to take a decision. If you don't lose immediately the pawn, if you lose a pawn for nothing, it's clear that white has already almost decisive edge for white. Bishop f6 is the only way to protect a little bit the position. Now, if you take in b7, he gives a pawn, but he has some small hope to have some counterplay immediately afterwards. So, but it's not necessary to take immediately the pawn. You can prepare. So now, very strong move again, queen b1. If you trade queens, it's clearly better for white. No counterplay at all, and white finally will win a pawn, at least one pawn. If he moves away the queen, queen a4, white has time to double the rooks. There's no counterplay at all again. He plays rook c1. No. Now, what to do now with black? Again, you have to wait. Rook b8. Okay. It seems the best move. Okay. He doesn't give the pawn. No. Now again, we propose the exchange of queens. Queen c2. Again, if you take in c2, again the position is completely lost for black. He takes in c2. You take with the rook. The c1 rook takes in c2. a6, for instance, now, not to give the pawn. Bishop a7, rook a8, bishop c5. Attacks twice, e7, b7, lost for black, you know. If you want to show it, we
Yes.
can show it.
So
Okay.
again.
Okay, now
So-
he takes in c2, for instance. Yeah.
Yes.
Rook from c1 takes.
Yes.
Now he attacks the pawn from a7 and b7. If
Yes.
you move b7, b6, you lose immediately the pawn from a7.
Sorry.
So
So
now
if-
you have to move a6. No, the only way. Now, if you play b6, you lose the pawn from a7.
From a7. Okay.
If
So
you move the other pawn a little bit better, no, a6, a6.
yes. Sorry. Yes.
A6.
A6. Yes.
Yeah. Now, very simple. Bishop a7. Yeah. Rook a8, and now move back to c5, and we attack twice in b7 and e7, and again it's lost completely for black. Yeah?
Yes. And this one.
So he tries not to try queens. Okay, after queen c2, he played queen a3, which is a little bit, strange for black. But again, he has.
But why didn't took the pawn?
Well,
from
if he
B4?
takes the pawn again, we take in a7. We attack the rook. The rook. He moves back and bishop c5, and he loses at least the pawn from e7. Again, completely lost for black.
Yeah. So he moved like that, and then here.
Yeah.
And you
No
take-
counterplay at all.
Yes.
Again. So
Okay.
very sad position for black. I mean, very sad for such a super grandmaster like Korchnoi, no?
Yes.
And now after bishop a6, again, the position is completely lost for black, you know. Because if you play, for instance, here, rook e8,
Yes.
yeah, after rook e8, rook takes c8, you can resign.
Ah, because it's checkmate.
Yeah. So the only move is bishop g7.
Ah, and
You have
he
to
lose the pawn.
accept the fact that you have a very bad position, and you have to play back with the bishop. Yeah? The only way. Yeah. So now we take there, and queen c5. Again, decisive advantage for white. There's no way to play here. What to play? If you play, for instance, e6, let's say, no, e6. After queen e5 check, you lose a rook. Queen e6, yeah. Queen e5 check, yeah. King g8, no? And rook back to c3, attacking the queen and the rook from b8, and you lose the rook.
Yes.
Well, the game was a demonstration, of course, for white, you know.
Yeah. Of a bad opening.
Immediately after the opening, the black was completely lost. Very bad
Almost.
position. Bad position. Yeah. So after queen c5, he has to lose at least a pawn. I mean, he has to accept the fact that he's lost. I mean, very bad position. He moves away the queen, not to allow the check, the deadly check in e5. The only way. Now we take the pawn, and now finally he can move away the bishop. I mean, has some hope here. And now the decisive blow again, positionally, queen a1. Finally, he can't. He must trade queens, and then the end game is completely lost. End game and the middle game, both. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to trade queens, and afterwards you lose by force the second pawn, and the game is completely lost for black. Yeah. So the only way to have some small counterplay. Well, the rest doesn't need some special analysis, but okay, it's very interesting to see what happens until the end. Yeah. Well, f4 was okay, but it was even better probably to play f3 and the king f2 and wins in every position. Even better. But okay, even
So
here
f3 and the king here.
Yeah.
Defending.
Controls all the completely the whole position, and finally you lose another pawn with black, and it's finished. So now, okay, he can hope a little bit, but it's too late. 2 pawns up. Yeah, check. Now you have to take in d3 because otherwise you have 3 pawns less.
Down.
Yeah. So you have to takes, and okay, this game is completely lost for black. But he continued to play. Okay. And now we prepare mate. You know, if you take the pawn from b5, his mate immediately with g5. Yeah.
Yes. Here.
So okay, the only move is g5 check. The only move is takes. Yeah, check in f6, and rook b6.
You have another
Okay,
one.
and here he adjourned the game. This is unbelievable. You know, for a player like Korchnoi to adjourn such a position is
Yes.
unbelievable.
So
But
he didn't
want to-
resign. He wanted to continue the next day.
No, he didn't want to resign before of the photographs and you know, the journalists and so on.
Okay.
Well, the next game, the next day, he resigned without playing. I mean, he called the referee and said, "Okay, I resign." But how can you know, you're top grandmaster and you adjourn such a position?
Yes.
And now is the way how to win immediately. To win. After rook b3, the move that I played, g6, wins immediately. You know, because now you don't have any counterplay. If you take in g6 normally, no.
Yes.
After king g5 is finished.
Okay, let's see.
After h6, g5 wins in every game, in every position. You have to takes, and you take in h3. And when you take in h3, rook b7 check and 2 pawns up and mate threats and it's completely winning. Yeah.
Okay, and I guess it was the same thing here. If it
Yeah, the
took
same,
here,
of course. If he
took-
takes, king g5. Yeah.
and you try to take this one with check.
And if he takes in h3, now rook b7 check is even stronger. You have to move away, and now king takes g6 and mate threats and is even stronger because the king is much stronger in g6. You know? Well, but this is elementary, very, very easy
Exactly.
to.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody will win against a very, very strong grandmaster. Yeah.
Yes.
No, it was a big surprise that he continued to play. I mean, but he was very disappointed like this.
Yeah, very disappointed. And also, I think he was fighting.
Well, he was
until
fighting
the last
until the
hope.
end, but he could resign
Yeah.
maybe 20 moves before, you know. So,
True.
immediately after the opening, he could. I mean, he had very big problems. Anyway. Very important game theoretically, very, very good game. In that period, the game was published everywhere, and it was considered to be one of the 10 best in the world. You know, I mean, in this year. I mean, because of the opponent. I mean, the name of the opponent. To beat
Yes.
Korchnoi like this was considered to be a small surprise. Not the fact that you won, but the manner that how you
Yeah, because I had
how
no
you
chance.
won. Had
Yes.
no chance at all. I mean,
It was only one direction.
yeah, terrible game for Black.
Yeah.
Well, it happened. It happened.